Yesterday we started solving radical equations. And today we're going to take a little bit of a step further. We're going to approach some that are a little bit more complicated. And the problem is not in how complicated they are. The problem is that they tend to provide us with fake solutions. And so we're going to have to check and see if our solutions that we find are actually solutions. So in the first one we have radical 6 minus x equals x. And we remember from yesterday that we have to get that radical out of there. So how do I get rid of the radical? Yeah.
Square both of them.
Square both sides. So that gives us 6 minus x, because the square just cancels out the radical. And on the right we have x squared. Now do you see what's different between yesterday and today? Yeah. What's that? Yeah, we have an x squared now. So we can solve this like we solved them in the last chapter. We move everything to one side. Subtract 6, add x to both sides. We get 0 equals x squared plus x minus 6. Now this is factorable. What does it factor into? Ask me.
X minus 2, x plus 3.
X minus 2, x plus 3. What does that give us for solutions for x? Tyler? 2 and negative 3. So what we want to do is we want to check our answers and make sure they actually work.
What do you do? One at a time?
One at a time. So we'll plug the 2 in. Got radical 6 minus 2 equals 2, which is radical 4. Does radical 4 equal 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, so that works. So then we check the negative 3. Radical 6 minus negative 3 should equal negative 3. It gives us radical 9. Does radical 9 equal negative 3? No, radical 9 equals positive 3.
Only 2 ones.
So there's only one solution, so it's extraneous.
That's right. That makes this negative 3 an extraneous solution. Sometimes when we square both sides of an equation, we create extra solutions that don't actually work. That's what we're looking at here. That's what we need to filter out. All right, let's do a word problem. Then we'll do another one of these examples on your own. The hull speed, s, in nautical miles per hour of a sailboat can be estimated using the formula s equals 1.34 radical L, where L is the length in feet of the sailboat's waterline as shown. Find the length to the nearest foot of the sailboat's waterline if it has a hull speed of 8 nautical miles per hour. So that 8, is that an S or an L?
An S.
An S, because it's the hull speed. So we're going to plug that in for S. We get 8 equals 1.34 radical L. How are we going to solve this equation? Tyler? I can divide by 1.34. What do I get when I divide 8 by 1.34? Maria? 5.97. What's our next step? Squaring both sides. So what is the square of 5.97? 5.97 is a little bit less than 6, so our square should be a little bit less than 36. What do we get, Isaiah?
You get 35.6.
35.6 feet. That's how long the hull needs to be in order to get a hull speed of 8 nautical miles per hour.
Would you round it to 36 feet?
I'm okay with 35.6. You can round it if... I'd leave it with tenths. I know that they round it in their example, but I'd leave it with 35.6. So far, so good? Alright, so let's give you one of these examples to practice on your own. Radical 3x plus 4 equals x. Take a few minutes, work it on your own, and then we'll go over it together. Okay, so what was our first step? Isaiah?
You're supposed to square it.
Square both sides. Okay. Gives us 3x plus 4 equals x squared. Yes?
Put everything on both sides.
Everything on one side? Yeah, move everything to one side. Gives us x squared minus 3x minus 4. What's that factor into? Isaiah?
Factor into -1 and +1.
Nope.
Well, after you did all the factoring, it'd be x minus 4 times x minus 4.
X minus 4 times x minus 4?
X minus 3 times x minus 4.
Oh, we need some practice with our factoring. Tyler.
X plus 1 times x plus x minus 1.
That's right. We need two numbers
Oh, I got
that multiply together to be -4. Okay? They've got to multiply up to be this number, and they've got to add up to -3.
-4 and 1.
-4 and 1. You said -4 and -4.
you did. I said.
Okay? We want -4 and 1.
It's -4
I can do
plus
this after the video is done recording.
Well, what was the problem?
I did x squared minus 4x plus 1x minus 4. Because
Okay. And so when you factor an x out,
yeah,
okay, you
Yeah.
have x minus 4,
yes.
right? And then over here you factor a 1 out. So you have x minus 4 in common, but you're left with x plus 1 when you take out the x minus 4s. Okay. The problem was you skipped the step there, so you didn't see how it deconstructed. Yeah.
Next, you would get out of the parentheses, so you do x minus 4 equals to 0.
And x plus 1 equals 0.
Yep.
What does that give us for x? Yeah.
X equals 4, x equals -1.
4 and -1. Then what do we do? Yeah.
You would put it back into the original equation, and then if you added 4, you'll get
Okay.
16.
One thing at a time. So we plug them into the original equation. We plug in 4, right, which gives us radical 16. Does that equal 4?
Yes.
Then we plug in -1, okay, which gives us radical 1. Does that equal -1?
No.
No.
So 16.
So our only answer is 4. X equals 4. Yes.
Do we have to write -1 as extraneous?
Nope. You can just, unless they ask specifically for an extraneous solution, you only need to put the actual solution. All right. Any questions? Okay.